all, this is Tomlin from TomlinHarmonicaLessons.com, and today's lesson is going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to teach you how to play anything, but I'm going to talk about what I think is the most important thing about music. I've been getting a little bit worried about some of my students, so I thought I would remind them about this very important thing, which is that it doesn't have to be so serious all of the time. You know, it's really easy to listen to teachers, myself included, and we make it sound like it has to be very serious and it has to be a hard grind. You got to be practicing all of the time. But you got to remember that the verb that we use to do with music is play. We play music, okay? Doesn't always have to be so serious. And I thought I'd share some important ideas that you should take with you into your practice. So the first one is, if you're having fun, then you are succeeding. So quite often I have students who come to me and say that they're not as good as they were expecting they would be. They're not getting good quick enough. And I always ask them, you know, are you enjoying playing harmonica? Do you have fun doing it? And they always say, yes, I do. And it's like, well, what's the problem then? If you are enjoying yourself, if you're getting pleasure from this journey of learning harmonica, then great. It might take a little bit longer than you were expecting it to. Learning a musical instrument does, and this is true for every single musical instrument. So, you know, if you're having fun, that's great. That's you know, win number one. Second thing to think about is that you're never too old to start or even to get better. So I quite often get emails from people saying, "Dear Tomlin, I must be your oldest student. I am 52, 63, 71, 86, 95. Doesn't matter. I have students in all of those age brackets. I have students who are in their teens. I have students in their 90s. And, you know, they can start at that age. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter when you start. It just matters that you enjoy playing it and that you start it rather than just waiting for the perfect time. Just get started, start playing, have fun with it. And you can always improve. You know, you don't have to start learning a musical instrument when you're 6 years old in order to be good at it. I didn't start playing any musical instruments until I was 15, and I was already playing paid gigs 5 years later. It's no big deal when you start, and I have plenty of students who start when they retire from their normal work, and they start playing, and within a couple of years they're gigging. So it's never too late, okay? Okay, next thing to think about is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, having high standards is great, and every awesome musician out there has very high standards, and that keeps pushing them forwards to get better and better and better. But there comes a point in your practice when you need to let it go a little bit. So I find that if I'm learning a tune, that I'll recognize the point at which I can't get any better in my current state as a musician. So I will reach a plateau, and that's it. That's how well I can play that tune right now. And everything else needs to get better around it. And that's okay. I might revisit it in 6 months. I might revisit it in a year and play it better than I did. But right now, this is as good as I'm going to be able to do it. And you need to learn to recognize that. You don't have to be striving for perfection. You just want to see if you can get a little bit better. And, you know, if you wait until it's perfect before you get out there and start playing with other musicians, you're never going to get out there and start playing with other musicians. You gotta start doing it. I spent most of my learning time on harmonica on the streets busking. So if you don't know what busking is when you go out and you play music on the street, you have your hat out, you make a little bit of money, and you get to practice. And that's great, and that's what I did, rather than waiting for this perfection, which I'm still waiting for. All right, point number 4 that it's important to think about is looking after yourself. Okay, so personally, my musical journey started with guitar. and guitar was my first love, and I had to stop playing guitar for 18 months, which was the most heartbreaking thing ever. And the reason I had to do that is because I had tendonitis in both of my wrists, because I overplayed. I was so tense and self-critical. I was pushing myself so hard to practice that playing 6 to 8 hours a day, after about a year, my body just said, nah, you're gonna have to stop. This is not good for you. And that's really important to remember. You've got to look after yourself. I had a student recently in a very similar situation, but with harmonica. They threw themselves into learning harmonica so aggressively and so hard that they got repetitive strain injury in their jaw and had to stop playing. So look after yourself. A little bit of gentle self-criticism is good, but don't beat yourself up. You know, you've got to look after the body, you've got to keep relaxed, and you've got to be relaxed about how you think about your playing. That's really, really important. Try and say to yourself what you've done well and what you can do a little bit better. Don't say, that was crap, and I just need to do everything better. That's not productive. Look after yourself, physically and mentally. Right, final important thing that I want you to think about to get away from this taking music too seriously is being supportive. I want you to be supportive of others. So, you know, if you watch someone who has the guts to get up on stage and play, and maybe they're not as good as you, it's great that they got up on stage and they played. So when they get off stage, you know, shake their hand and say, well done, that was great, you did an excellent job. And I'm so pleased that you had so much fun up there. And a little pointer for next time, maybe think about not playing so much while the singer's playing. But apart from that, it was great. And so that person is going to know that you're supporting them, you're giving them something positive to work on, and you're not just telling them that they're crap. And that's you know, no one is crap. We're just all on different points on the journey. And if you feel that you're better than that person, then you were definitely at the same stage and also worse than them at some point. Because, you know, we all start with not being able to play a clean single note, and we, you know, keep practicing until we get beyond that. And there are all these hurdles that every harmonica player and every musician, whatever instrument they're playing, has to get through. Okay? Remember that. Be supportive of everyone around you who's playing music, who's trying to do it, wherever they are on the journey. We don't need any negativity. Okay? So, remember, super important, have fun while you're playing the instrument. There's plenty of time to be very serious about it and to push yourself hard, but if you can't remember that we play music, then you're not going to have a positive relationship with it over a long period of time. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice, positive relationship over a lifetime. That's why this is such a worthwhile thing to do. It's not something that you can learn in 3 months and then you're an expert at it. It's something that you start learning and you keep learning and you play with and you work with. And it's like a great relationship. It's exactly the same thing. You've got to allow some levity to it. Okay? So, I'm sure that lots of people are going to tell me that I need to go and practice more, and I take that on board, but I also think that we should go and have some more fun with the instrument. So that is my thought for this week, and I hope that was helpful for you, and I'd be interested to hear what you think about being a little bit less serious once in a while. All right, take it easy. Happy harping.